Maxima, born Maxima Zorreguieta the 17th of May 1971, is Queen of the Netherlands as the wife of King Willem-Alexander. Maxima Zorreguieta was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, on the 17th of May 1971. She is the daughter of Jorge Zorreguieta, 1928-2017, who served as Secretary of Agriculture under General Jorge Rafael Videla during Argentina's last civil-military dictatorship, 1976–1983, and his second wife, Maria del Carmen Cerruti Caricart, born 1944. She has two brothers, a sister deceased, and three half-sisters by her father's first wife, Marta López Gil. She is named after her paternal great-grandmother Maxima Bonarino González, 1874–1965, of Italian and Spanish descent. Originally from the Basque Country, her ancestor carrying the Zorreguieta surname, José Antonio Sarraguieta y Oyarzabal Gamboa y Sagastum, migrated to Argentina around the year 1790. Maxima's father was a scion of the Zorreguieta family who had been landed gentry, professionals, regional politicians, and statesmen for generations. She grew up in the Recoleta neighborhood of Buenos Aires and studied at Northlands School, a bilingual school of the city of Olivos. She graduated with a degree in economics from the Pontifical Catholic University of Argentina, UCA, in 1995. This private university is governed by a directory of local bishops, including the current Pope Francis, then Archbishop of Buenos Aires and Grand Chancellor of UCA. During her student years, Francis presided over the traditional Mass at the beginning of classes. She later completed her studies with a master's degree in the United States. From 1989 to 1990, while still in college, she worked for Mercado Abierto Electrónico S.A. From 1992 to 1995, she worked in the sales department of Boston Securities SA in Buenos Aires, where she conducted research on software for financial markets. From July 1996 to February 1998, she worked for HSBC James Capel Inc. in New York City, where she became Vice President of Institutional Sales for Latin America. From then until July 1999, she was Vice President of the Emerging Markets Division of Dresdner Kleinwort Benson in New York. From May 2000 to March 2001, she worked for Deutsche Bank in Brussels. She also worked as a teacher of English to children and adults, and of mathematics for high school students and freshmen. Maxima met Willem-Alexander in April 1999 in Seville, Spain, during the Seville Spring Fair. In an interview, they stated that he introduced himself only as Alexander, so that she did not know he was a prince. She thought he was joking when he later told her that he was the Prince of Orange and heir apparent to the Dutch throne. According to the unauthorized biography, Maxima, La Construcción de una Reina, she was invited to Seville by a friend living in New York who openly said she would introduce her to two European princes. They agreed to meet again 2 weeks later in New York, where Maxima was working for Dresdner Kleinwort Benson. Their relationship apparently began in New York. The news of the couple's relationship and eventual marriage plans caused controversy in the Netherlands, due to the involvement of Maxima's father Jorge Zorreguieta as a cabinet minister during the national reorganization process, the most recent Argentine dictatorship. Her father's 1979–1981 tenure as a minister took place during the later stages of the Dirty War, 1974–82, a period of repression that saw about 30,000 people killed or disappeared during the 7-year military regime. At the request of the States General, Michiel Bou, a Dutch professor in Latin American studies, carried out an inquiry into the involvement of Zorreguieta in the Dirty War. Zorreguieta claimed that, as a civilian, he was unaware of the Dirty War while he was a cabinet minister. Bou determined that Maxima's father had not been directly involved in any of the numerous atrocities that took place during that period. However, Bu also concluded that Zorreguieta was almost certainly aware of them. In Bu's view, it was highly unlikely that a cabinet minister would not have known about them. The couple announced their engagement on the 30th of March 2001. Maxima addressed the nation in Dutch, which at the time she only spoke at a basic conversational level, during the live televised broadcast. Maxima was granted Dutch citizenship by a royal decree on the 17th of May 2001 and now has dual citizenship, Argentine and Dutch. The engagement was formally approved by the States General later that year, a necessary step for Willem-Alexander to remain in line to the throne. Maxima and Willem-Alexander were married on the 2nd of February 2002 in a civil ceremony in the Boers van Berlage, Amsterdam, which was then followed by a religious ceremony at Amsterdam's New Kerk, New Church. Maxima's parents were not present at the wedding. Her father was told he could not attend due to his role as a cabinet minister during the national reorganization process, and her mother chose not to attend without her husband. The couple are the parents of 3 daughters. Queen Maxima has a particular concern for the integration of immigrants into Dutch culture. She was a member of a special parliamentary commission which sought to recommend ways to increase the participation of female immigrants in the workforce. Maxima stresses the importance for immigrants of learning the Dutch language, as she did, in order to fully participate in Dutch society. Dutch is the Queen's 3rd language. She is also fluent in Spanish, her native language, and English. She speaks French at a conversational level. In 2007, Maxima inadvertently caused a wave of massive criticism. When in a speech to the Scientific Council for Government Policy she said that in the 7 years that she had been in the Netherlands, she had been unable to find the Dutch identity. She participates in conferences around the world representing the Netherlands. She was granted a seat in the Dutch Council of State on the 20th of October 2004, the highest advisory body and court of administration. She was a member of the Committee for Ethnic Minority Women's Participation from July 2003 until 2005. She has a seat on the Board of Governors of the Chair on the Management of Diversity and Integration at the Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam. She, along with her husband, is a patron of the Orange Fund, established to promote social welfare and cohesion in the Netherlands, and she also chairs the Board of Trustees of the Prins Claus Chair in Development and Equity of the International Institute of Social Studies and the University of Utrecht. Maxima is one of the few members of royal families anywhere in the world to be an open supporter of gay rights, and was the first member of a royal family to attend an LGBT rights conference, having attended a conference concerned with LGBT rights on the 5th of March 2008. Queen Maxima has been honorary chair of the Money Wise platform since 2010. In this capacity, the Queen focuses attention on the importance of financial education and managing money sensibly, especially where children and young people are concerned. The Queen acts as special advisor to the platform and consults with interested parties on ways of increasing people's financial awareness and resilience. Since the 10th of June 2015, Queen Maxima has been the honorary chair of the Ambassadors for Music at School platform. Queen Maxima has for some years been committed to giving as many children as possible the opportunity to create music. Queen Maxima is a member of the Committee for Enterprise and Finance, which succeeded the Microfinance Council in 2011. The Queen is committed to extending the reach of various financing opportunities, both through coaching and by providing credit for new and existing small businesses in the Netherlands. She also works to increase the number of women entrepreneurs and the scope they have to expand their businesses. Since March of 2022, Queen Maxima is an honorary president of Mind Us, a mental health platform created in collaboration with the Mind Foundation. Queen Maxima currently serves as the United Nations Secretary-General's Special Advocate for Inclusive Finance for Development (UNSGSA). In September 2009, then UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon designated her to this role in order to raise awareness on the importance of inclusive financial systems for achieving economic and development goals such as poverty alleviation, food security and education. In her work as UNSGSA, the Queen focuses on how formal financial services such as savings, insurance, and credit can prevent people from falling into poverty due to expenditures on healthcare, and people who are not able to protect themselves against rising food prices and poverty because they do not have access to basic savings accounts. The role of the UNSGSA is to foster action by governments, private sector, financial system standard setters, and others towards a more inclusive financial system that works for the poor. In later years, her focus as a special advocate expanded to advocating digital financial inclusion, financial health, responsible technology for financial inclusion to support sustainable development goals and agricultural finance. Maxima is also an advocate for increased access to financial services, improve consumer protection and enhance financial literacy. According to the UNSGSA website, she aims to unlock development opportunities and economic inclusion for all. Queen Maxima visited several countries on behalf of the United Nations. She also recorded video for the launch of the Global Findex Database 2021. Queen Maxima is also the honorary patron of the G20 Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion, GPFI, since June 2011. In this role she works with governments and partners to advance the G20 Action Plan on Financial Inclusion, and the G20 Financial Inclusion Peer Learning Program. Previously, the Queen was a member of the Advisors Group for the United Nations International Year of Microcredit 2005 and until 2009, was a member of UN Advisors Group on Inclusive Financial Sectors. She also worked as the Global Agenda Trustee for the World Economic Forum's Global Challenge Initiative on the Future of the Global Financial System. Maxima convened the CEO Partnership for Economic Inclusion. Thanks for watching. Subscribe my channel for more videos.